Brian Windhorst on. Who's the most likely to end up in L.A. with LeBron next year?
I don't have a good read on that because the Lakers have a couple of things going against them in this free agency session. Number one, a handful of these guys who are going to be available already have championships. Kawhi, Klay Thompson, Durant. They don't need to link up with LeBron to win. And that's something that you would like to have in your pocket. Secondly, the Lakers, one of the great advantages of being in L.A. is that it's such a desirable place to be. In fact, I would argue that L.A., never in the history of the NBA has L.A. been more desirable for players to live. When I first started covering the league 15, 16 years ago, a lot of players lived in Atlanta. A lot of players lived in Orlando, in Miami, in New York. Now, almost the entire NBA spends their summer either in Los Angeles or the surrounding areas or San Diego. And so it's never been been a bigger draw. But here's the thing. The Clippers are there, too, and the Clippers have cap space, and the Clippers are no longer a laughingstock. And both New York teams are going to be in the market as well, both the Nets and Knicks. And I know you'd say, well, why would anybody go play for the Nets when they could play for the Lakers? Well, maybe playing with LeBron isn't as desirable as it maybe was 5 years ago because he's older now and there's other options. So the Lakers have to fight uphill a little bit. That said, they enjoy great advantages over just about every team. The Indiana Pacers are going to have 35 or 40 million in cap space next year. I doubt that they're going to be able to get in on the same type of players as the Lakers. I don't want to say boo-hoo, but yeah. I don't think it's a guarantee that the Lakers get a major free agent next year, and that is why them not going after Paul George, and then even with the lesson learned, having not got Paul George, not going after Kawhi Leonard, to me is a curious decision. Now, a year from now, they could be sitting there with LeBron and Durant together, or LeBron and Kawhi together, or LeBron and Jimmy Butler together, and we could be saying, well, them waiting it out has been fantastic because now they have both stars and all their young players. But they've taken a significant gamble with a guy, LeBron James, who doesn't have time on his side in his prime.
Well, then this is the last LeBron question I'll ask you because I know that's basically your life is LeBron on a constant basis. I contend that the move to come to L.A. and not add a significant piece in this first year tells me that LeBron is content with knowing that he may never win another championship. And he's thinking so much about his post-basketball career and post-basketball life that the importance of those other things right now are almost on par with the next 4 years of his basketball career. Am I crazy?
I think he had a bunch of flawed choices last summer. He could have stayed in Cleveland. That team has obviously sort of turned the corner and passed its prime, and we have several teams rising to challenge them. He could have gone to Houston, but there was no clean way for him to get there, and there would have been some issues on sharing it and everything. Plus, I don't really know if he was all that excited about living in Houston. He could have gone to Philadelphia, where he may have been immediately able to win a championship. But again, I don't know if his family, who has no connection to Philadelphia, was interested in doing that. And then he would have, that he had Los Angeles, where his family absolutely loved to be. He had a lot of different business opportunities, but the team was farther away than those other teams. It was all a bunch of flawed choices. And so he went with a choice that I think he could live with not winning a championship in, which is to be in Los Angeles. And so if he doesn't win again, it will be in a place where he can enjoy being at the very least and looking in the future. I still think, knowing LeBron, he still wants to win. He's still not conceding anything. That said, I do think it's interesting that after 4 or 5 years of people trying to make Space Jam with him, he's finally going to make the movie in the summer that it looks like he's not going to be in the finals for the first time in 9 years. I think there is some connection to what his outlook is short term for the Lakers.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.